How are we all doing? It's good to see you. You might be asking, why am I speaking in a microphone when you're sitting right here? And that is because we're live streaming this event as well. So good afternoon, and good afternoon to everyone who's watching on the live stream. It's wonderful to have you here. So many familiar faces. But we're here for a very important matter, and that is to introduce our new superintendent, who will start next year. And so I don't want to take too much time. I'll let her introduce herself. But I can say, in the day and a half-ish that we've got to know each other, we are exceptionally fortunate to have her. And I'm really looking forward to working alongside Helen, just with some of the experience she brings, some of the ideas. So really looking forward to it. So let me introduce Helen Razzo to you, Helen. And I'll let Helen tell you her story, a little bit about her heart for DAA and where she sees things going. And then we'll have a little bit of time for questions at the end as well. Okay, thanks, Helen.
Oh, thank you so much for coming. I will use the mic. I don't ever need a mic, just so you all know. I was born in Portugal, Portuguese heritage. We are loud. It's a loud household. When we're talking, everybody thinks we're yelling at each other. There's a picture of my beautiful mother and my Italian husband and his parents in one of these photos. And you can only imagine what our household is like growing up with lots of siblings and grandchildren. It is fun and joyful and very loud. But I will use the mic and welcome to all of you families joining online. It's an honor to be here. I have had the most wonderful day and a half, almost 2 full days, as Mike said, meeting our staff here, meeting students, and just being able to welcome people in the morning. The joy in the heart of DAA that is felt. It is so felt. The minute you walk in and someone says hello to you and says hi, it's a gift. And so that kindness that I have received being here the last 2 days is truly a testament to the incredible community and the families. These are my babies that are not babies, but they're always babies, absolutely, even when they try to tell me they're not at 22 and 19. My daughters Olivia and Isabella, and my husband Dominic is in one of those photos. Dominic is here with me. I hope that he is feeling well enough to join me at Iftar this evening. We are both hoping to come and meet families and celebrate with everyone. But my girls are back at home. They're in university, and they're in the midst of midterms and their studies, and so they have not been able to join us and won't be joining me when I make the move initially, but are deeply excited to be able to come and visit me here and visit DAA when they're finished their midterms and their studies in April and spend some time with me here. But both of my girls are in post-secondary. One is just graduating and going into clinical therapy, and the youngest one is in health sciences, hoping to get into medicine and working with Alzheimer's patients. She loves to be around elderly people. Her love for her grandparents is infectious, and truly would rather spend all of her time with her grandmother and grandfather than anybody else in the world. And so her true passion is in wanting to help patients with dementia and Alzheimer's and anybody who's suffered strokes, and so that's the pathway she's chosen right now. I say that because those of us who are parents know that our children start with lots of conversations, and then sometimes in their life they decide to change directions, or something else inspires them or makes them want to be curious about something else, and they change those pathways. But at the end of the day, I have these 2 kind, beautiful, healthy young women who I hope are doing good in this world, and all I could ask is that they lead good lives and contribute to this world in very, very positive ways, which is, I'm sure, what all you could wish for your children, is that in their studies, above anything else, our academics are important, their sports are important, everything they learn is important, but the most important thing for any child is that they're gonna grow up and contribute to this world in the most wonderful ways and make the world better than they've received it. And so that's what I hope we teach them in the work we do. My mother is the beautiful blonde woman on the one side, and my mother-in-law and my father-in-law are right beside her. We're a very close family. We're all in Toronto together. My story actually started in Portugal. That's where I was born, and we immigrated there, my mom and my dad, with 3 little ones, decided to immigrate there, part of their journey, and we arrived in Canada when I was only 2 years old with my brother and my sister, and that's where our journey started, and I've only ever lived in Canada. So this wonderful move to Dubai is a new adventure for me. Canada has been home my whole life, and all I remember, I don't remember my childhood in Portugal, but that's where my journey started. I'm fluent in Portuguese and English, and even my English, but my grammar sometimes is a little off, but that's okay, we work on those things. My Portuguese might be better because my mother keeps me on my toes. She still keeps me on my toes at this age. And so that's where I've started, and then I've been there, I've worked, just to give you a little bit of background, that's my family there. I have worked in both the public system in Ontario and in the independent school system, which is similar to a private school. And in both systems, I have done system leadership. I have been able to work with schools to transform a lot of their strategy, to bring in innovative programs, and to bring in really rich academic programs. Programs that are preparing our students for the world and the future that they're going into, which matters very, very deeply to me. So my work has really been around instruction and curriculum and academic excellence, but at the same time making sure that students, especially when you truly believe in developing the whole child, which all of us do, because our children are more than just their academic story. These are human beings who are passionate about arts or sports or music. They are so encompassing, and all of those talents and passions need to be tended to, because our children flourish when they are, and they find those sparks that just make them even more invigorated and more dedicated to the things that they love. And that's what you want, young people who are passionate, who pursue the things they love with all of the energy and curiosity that it takes to work hard and develop them. And so building up programs around robotics and STEM and the arts and athletics and experiential learning, and most recently internships in the school that all of our students graduate with internships was a really important piece. And so that's some of the work that I've been able to do over the years to transform the incredible communities that I've been able to serve and be part of. In that journey, you know, you learn in your leadership. You start thinking you know one thing, and then life teaches you many lessons, as it does for all of us. And so being in leadership and being in schools and doing the work of strategic planning and strategic thinking and change in a lot of times has also taught me what really is most important. And for me, I lived through three really, really important principles. Number one is communication. What you see is what you get. So you will see me in the morning, I will be visible. My happiest place is what you see here is with our students. That is my happy place. You will see me in class, you will see me at sports games, you will see me at their performing arts. You will see me everywhere our students are. That's our why. And so to tell their story, to share the things that they're doing, how they're learning, the ways in which they're learning, and to talk about education with families is probably one of the things that's most important to me. So communication is important. You will hear from me. You will see me. You can walk into my office and ask me any questions that you want, because that's the relationship that's between me and the school and all of our families. I'm here because I believe in young people. I love the work that I do. I love being with them. I love learning from them because they have things to teach us too. And so to tell their story on a weekly basis, to share their highlights, to celebrate them, to celebrate your story. Parents are our first teachers. There truly is. Family is first. You learn your fundamental values at home. As a school, we get to augment that, we get to celebrate that, we get to add new knowledge and encourage children to grow even further. But you're their first teachers. We get to do this work alongside all of you. And so what you do, how you do it is so important. And we need to be in partnership with one another as we continue this journey and continue to learn. And so that's one of the things that's so important to me, is really communication, open communication, transparent communication, while also, of course, protecting the privacy of children. And so we have to manage all of those things and balance those things in the ways that we govern and we work together in schools. The second thing in this journey of life is also to pay attention to student well-being. We know right now, and the research is quite clear, that student well-being, young people's well-being, is probably most impacted at this time in their life, between phones, social media, knowledge that they have, pressures that are on them to succeed, expectations. A lot of young people are, their well-being is impacted in so many different ways. And so my commitment to pay attention to students' well-being, the ways that they have opportunities to grow, to stretch, to take care of themselves. And sometimes that means that, going out for a good run is just what's important for their heart and their mind, and their body too, as we do that. So making sure that our students are well, that we're safeguarding them, that we're making sure that they're safe every day that they come here. We drop them off and you entrust them to us to take care of them and nurture them. And so that's an incredible, it's not only a privilege, but it's an incredible responsibility that we have, and I don't take that lightly. It's really important for me to make sure that our students are well, they're safe, and they're flourishing in this environment. And that means that they can have conversations, they can explore their passions, they can share with us, this is what I'm stressed out about, how can I help, can you help me? That a child feels safe enough to be vulnerable, to say, I'm stressed, can you help me, is a really important piece of this work in our journey. And so that's important to me as well. And the very last thing, and this is not in order, it's not that one thing is more important than the other, that's actually not the case. They're all equally important for our schools to be whole and to be places that nurture young people to grow. The third piece is academic excellence. It's a non-negotiable. It's a non-starter, actually. We know that right now, pursuing post-secondary pathways and just succeeding in life, it is far more competitive than it's ever been. That's the truth. And so what our young people are expected to know, the skills they're expected to have, is far greater. I'm probably older than many people in this room, far greater than any of us had to ever deal with. And so the level of, the depth of skills, the knowledge that they have, how they use it, how they demonstrate it, the portfolios they're creating to tell their story to the world is so important. And so academic excellence to me is a non-negotiable. That's, we shouldn't be having conversations around academic excellence and rigor. And the beautiful thing about DAA is that that is exactly what this school stands for. And you see it in the alumni, you see it in the stories. And does that mean it's perfect all the time? I'm sure that it's not. And Mike, could share that we're all learning. But part of our work is to make sure that we're paying attention to these things and that we're working on them. But in that journey that we're partners in this, because no child thrives. No child thrives if the school is doing one thing, family's telling them another thing, and they're caught in the middle. So the importance is that we're in this work together and that we journey together, because at the end of the day, the only successes we truly, truly have are the stories of your children being happy, being well, and being able to pursue the incredible dreams that they have, wherever that may take them in life, whatever post-secondary destination that may take them, whatever opportunities that may take them. And what I've learned in my first day and a half here, almost 2 days, is that I have met some of the most incredible educators in my 27-year career. The passion in this place, the dedication to these students. Today I had a beautiful conversation with our Emirati students who taught me about culture and who taught me about what it meant to be here. And it was filled with love and joy. I had a little boy walk into me this morning and I said to him, "What are you doing today?" And he goes, I'm doing a presentation. And I said, "On what?" He goes, "Can I whisper in your ear? I don't want my dad to know, it's a secret." I said, "Okay," and his father was standing right there. And so he whispered it in his ear and I said, "How come you chose that?" He goes, "Because I got to. I got to choose whatever I wanted." And I said, "Are you happy here?" "I love DAA!" He screamed. Who gets a welcome like that? That's what you want. You want them to be able to walk here, to love coming to school, because everything else will fall in place. And that's the work we do together. And so what you see here is just, that's my family. You'll see a little bit of selection of photos. My happiest place, and where you'll see me most, is probably in a classroom surrounded by young people. That's who I am in service to. Above anything else, that's my why. I get up every morning. I've done this job for 27 years with all of my heart because I believe in the power of young people and what they bring us and what they're capable of doing. And sometimes if we just listen carefully, we learn far more from them than we do from so many other people in our lives. They are honest, they care about the world that they're in, and so when we get an opportunity to be alongside them, to learn from them, to listen, truly we become better people, we become better adults. And so I look forward to the opportunity of sharing and learning with all of your children, of learning and growing with you. The door will always be open, unless of course there's a meeting. They tend to be closed for those things. But I think that communication is the way to succeed and the way that we will find our pathway forward. And I look forward to the opportunity to meet you over the coming years, to meet with you if you're coming to the iftar tonight, to be there tonight and get to know you a little bit and have an opportunity for a candid conversation or just a walk and a talk and even just to come to know your name. But this journey to be here is actually truly an honor to be able to, at this point in my career, after many years of teaching and leading schools and being able to contribute to education, whether it's through my academics as I continue to work on my doctorate around innovative curriculum and teaching, or whether it's through publishing or working with teachers across Canada and the US around pedagogy and their instruction. All of those moments in my career have given me an opportunity to learn and to do my job better. And so I look forward to be able to join this community, to be able to learn and to also take away and do my job better, because everywhere we go, we learn something new. So I can't thank you enough for joining, being here tonight, this afternoon, to be with me, but also to everyone who's joining online. Thank you for taking some time to do that. It truly is a gift to be here, and I look forward to getting to know all of you. And if you're at the iftar tonight, I look forward to having perhaps a casual conversation with you there to say hello and to get to know you just a little bit, but we'll have a lot of time together, and the conversations, I'm sure, will be wonderful. So thank you all for coming. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Helen. All right, well, we've got some time, and we said at the start we would have a little bit of time for questions and answers. Maybe you have a few questions that you'd like to ask Helen. And also, for those of you who came in, welcome. It's nice to see you all. So what I'll do, just so that we can record everything for people who are watching live on the live stream, I'll bring the microphone around. If you just ask your question into the microphone, that'll just mean everyone will be able to hear what we're talking about. So, are there any questions that you have for Helen at this point? All right, front row.
Hi, welcome to DAA. My name is Ebru. I'm one of the DAPA members. Thank you. I have a question. I have one graduated just before the summer, so she's now in university. One in junior year, so she's in grade 11. She's doing IB, and I wanted to know, have you experience with IB, AP, any of those?
So our school runs dual curriculum. The schools that I've been in have run dual curriculum, mostly the AP stream, because what happens in our schools is we don't have dual streams in the same way. You can either go into an IB program that will operate independently in Canada, or you can do a bit of both. And so the IB, we don't run IB in our current school, but I have had experience with IB and I've done quite a few of their workshops to be able to learn about their structure, their diploma program. They also have their career diploma pathway, and I know that UWC out in London is piloting for them their new systems pathway, which is a different pathway for diploma program as well. So I'm familiar with the system, the structure of it, and being able to make sure that our students are following their program in order to get their IB diploma as well. So yes, thank you. And I taught AP for years.
Thanks, thanks, Helen. Any other questions? Yeah, let me come and hand you the microphone.
Hello, my name is Hassan. I am sure as a newcomer to the organization, as the head of this new organization, you have been given a brief about the challenges and the strengths of the organization. What are the top 3 challenges that you would like to address?
Well, we're in the midst of learning all the challenges, so I've already been briefed that traffic is a big problem. So one of the things over the last day and a half is that I've been able to just kind of meet the staff at first, I have received some of the feedback around the parent survey as an entry point as well, to look at our parents, wanting more communication and transparency around that. And Mike and the team have been able to share with me some insights on the traffic as I asked some questions. I did not come in to experience the traffic because I was here so early, and I haven't left in it yet. But I know that the organization itself, as well as the leadership team here, are on it, and that's something that we've been working on together, that I hope in my time over the next week is that I'll come to learn a little bit more so that we can do that. So I don't have all of the essence to say here are the top 3, but I do know some of them as I've been here the day and a half to start really getting a sense of what's here in the organization. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I was wondering if you could personally, what prompted you to decide to leave Canada and come to Dubai and run a school here versus another country? Is it, I don't know. How you?
Well, it's a wonderful question, and thank you for asking that. And I shared this with the staff yesterday. Is that when I first graduated from the Faculty of Education and very young and recently engaged, I thought I was going to go do international education then. That's just not the way my life worked out. We got married, I had children, and so at that point, the dream of always wanting to do international education was put on hold. And so over the last few years, as I looked at I've been in the school that I've been at for 11 years. And so I've had an incredible journey. And so it just felt like the right time to look, where else could I grow? Where else could I expand my learning and my opportunities? And then so the position came up with GEMS, as I had known GEMS' work, and I've known GEMS as an organization globally. They've got an incredible reputation for the wonderful education programs that they had. And so then I started to explore it, and DAA and Dubai became where I will call home next. But it has been a dream of mine to work internationally since I was half the age I am now. And so it just came, most people do it in their 20s and enjoy it and love it. I will do it in the latter part of my life where I can have an incredible run, but I also feel very privileged. All the experience I've had growing and learning and leading schools, I feel that I'm better positioned as well, that with my experience I can contribute in ways that I probably couldn't have done in my 20s, but I feel that I can add to a community and value to an organization now that I probably wouldn't have been able to do. So that's what led me here. Is a dream come true, except in my 50s.
You know, when over the last day and a half, when Helen and I have been talking about some of the challenges we face in school and also some of the successes, you realize how similar schools are across the world, right? And we have had numerous chuckles at some of the challenges, as in traffic, that Helen is dealing with in her current school. And you realize at the end of the day, yes, context is different all over, right? But if we break it all down, a school is a school. And so many of the challenges and the wins are very similar. So different perspectives, of course, but so many similarities. Good question. Okay, you got another one? All right. Sure, here you go.
We need dinner.
Hi Helen, welcome to Dubai and to DAA. It's really great and refreshing to have you. My question is, what's one, I don't know, just off the top of your mind, what is one thing you have from your experience that you look forward to adding to our school or to bringing here to DAA?
I think there's a few things that I was sharing with Mike, just wondering, I have had the incredible privilege of doing a lot of strategic work around the future of learning and working with the research that's come out through UNESCO and the OECD around where schools need to go, competency-based learning, making schools more whole. And so for me, being able to start really working with our incredible staff to think about what does learning look like and how are we preparing our students for the future that they're living in, right? The graduating class of 2038, almost 2040, is sitting in our schools right now. They're in our kindergarten classes. So we're not actually planning a future for kids that are not sitting in our classrooms. They're here, so their future is here. So what do our schools need to look like? What do they need to sound like, feel like? What do courses need to be that are going to prepare them to thrive at that time are things that are really important to me. And so doing strategy work is really, really important. Having a solid vision for learning, where academic excellence with great teaching pedagogy, great teaching instruction, while also incorporating some of the innovative technologies we have right now, augmenting that learning is going to be really important for our students to thrive and make an impact. So for me, I think that's an incredible piece. The other thing that I think that is really important is that I come with a wealth of knowledge around how we literally bring student agency into and ownership of their learning into our classrooms and into every day. And so I look forward to being able to tell stories and working with our families around what learning looks like, how learning happens here at DAA, and to actually celebrate our students and have them be celebrated telling stories of learning as well. So those are things that I think are really important, but the strategic piece, making sure that we're always current while holding on to our values, because it's not about being current for the sake of being current. That's never worked. But how do we make sure that the curriculum our students are learning is relevant and setting them up for the future they are going to be able to define and lead in, while also holding on to our values, because that's so important. Every child needs to have a strong, valued, ethical foundation to navigate this world, and those pieces are important as well.
Thank you. Back to the front row.
You touched upon how competitive the environment is now for young kids, and I'm a senior mom, and my son just had to apply to US university, so it was extremely challenging process. And one of the things that they have to create is a profile. Like they have to work in internships, they have to do summer courses, and they have to do athletics and all this. But you mentioned that all your students had internships, and I was wondering if you could integrate that in DAA and how this school could be also part of the Dubai business community, or
I think those are all opportunities that we can start to explore and look at. I think it would be premature to say, yes, it's going to look this way. I've been here for a day and a half. But those things are really important. And I know that, you know, for many across the school, I've learned that there are opportunities for students to be able to build their capacity with volunteers and stewardship and having these trips. All of that contributes. So that there's elements of also being able to look at what are our students doing and how can we help them tell their story, because that's what's needed in those supplementary essays. That's what's needed in their portfolios. Sometimes we don't actually just help our students tell the story that they already have. And so having them see what they have, how to tell that story on an application is really critical. But of course, there's opportunities for us to expand programs, think about programs differently, that I'm sure in the time will be something that I could actually offer and bring and take the knowledge that I've had of building those partnerships across corporations, across business partners, parents. So many of our students are doing internships with parents. Parents have taken them under their wing and have mentored them. Alumni have taken them and mentored them. And so it doesn't always have to be this far thing. It could just be this community that embraces and gives a child an opportunity to flourish. But those are all things that I would love as I can settle in and look at what's the opportunity here. What are the opportunities here? That we can then start building things like that. But they are important. They are. Because we're not just preparing students to go to post-secondary. That's the smallest window of their journey. We're preparing students to thrive in this world and in their life. And so yes, post-secondary is their immediate next step from a K-12 system, but there's more well beyond that, and it's our job to be also prepare them for those skills as well.
Great. Why don't we have time for one more question? And then, as Helen said, the door is always open. Is there one last question that anyone might have? Oh, no, I offered you a question. No one's taking me up on it. Come on. All right. Well, I don't want to force you to ask a question. It's okay. I'm sure, Helen, we can stay up front. If you have a burning question you want to come up and ask, you can obviously do that. I do want to just take a minute to invite Safa just to say a few words. And then we'll close things off. So thank you, Safa.
Hi, thank you. I just want to present myself. My name is Safa. I am president of DAPA. I just want to welcome you to DAA and to Dubai. And I am just happy that you came and to experience one of our events, one of our dear events to us, which is Iftar. So I hope you like it. And thank you for the parents for coming today. And I hope I will see you tonight, most of you. So thank you and welcome.
Thank you so much. And thank you again to everyone. Really appreciate your time. Thanks for being here. A huge thank you to DAPA, and we're all looking forward to the iftar tonight. Thank you for all the hard work and effort. Let's give them a hand. And Helen, thank you to you as well. Thank you so much. Thanks everyone. Have a wonderful afternoon.